In today's session, we will first of all study about the Tughlaq dynasty. Ghazi Malik, who captured the throne of Delhi in 1320, took the title of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq and laid the foundation of Tughlaq dynasty. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq built the city of Tughlaqabad near Delhi. He also took measures to check the Mongols. He died in 1325 when a victory pavilion collapsed which was built to honor him. Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq's son Jona Khan came to the throne and took the title of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. He was a scholar of logic, philosophy, mathematics, astronomy and physical science. He was also interested in medicine and he loved Persian literature. He knew languages like Arabic, Turkish and Sanskrit. He was interested in music, fine arts and calligraphy, that is, art of beautiful writing. Muhammad bin Tughlaq was known for his strange behavior which caused great suffering and hardship for his people. Now let us study about some of the administrative reforms of Muhammad bin Tughlaq that proved to be impractical and made him unpopular. The first is transfer of capital. In 1327, Muhammad bin Tughlaq decided to shift the capital of his empire from Delhi to Devagiri and renamed it Daulatabad. He shifted the capital for the following reason. First, the Sultan felt that he would be able to control and administer the empire better from Daulatabad since it was located in the center of the empire. Second, the Mongols were a constant threat to Delhi and Daulatabad would be safe from these attacks. Third, Delhi was in the hold of severe famine. So, Muhammad bin Tughlaq ordered the people of Delhi to move to Daulatabad. But the Sultan soon realized that it was impossible to keep a watch on the northern frontiers from Daulatabad. So he decided to shift the capital back to Delhi. All those who had gone to Daulatabad were asked to move back to Delhi. Thus, the decision of shifting the capital and coming back caused a lot of hardship for the people. Muhammad bin Tughlaq also introduced token currency, that is, coins of brass and copper. And these coins had the same value as silver coins. Since brass and copper were easily available and were much cheaper than silver, people bought brass and copper in large amount and started minting coins at home. The kingdom was flooded with fake coins, money lost its value and trade suffered. The Sultan had to withdraw the token currency. Taxation in the Doab. Muhammad bin Tughlaq wanted to expand his empire, so he required a large army and a large amount of money. So to get more money, the Sultan raised the land tax in the Ganga Yamuna Doab, but a severe famine broke out in the area at that time and people refused to pay the taxes and revolted. But the tax collectors of Sultan took strict measures to collect the tax. Many peasants deserted their land and escaped to jungles. However, steps were taken by Muhammad bin Tughlaq to fight the famine and save the situation. He advanced loans to the peasants, ordered free distribution of grains, and improved irrigation facilities. But these measures came too late, and agriculture suffered a heavy setback. Many people had already starved to death by then. Policy of conquests. To expand the empire, Muhammad bin Tughlaq decided to conquer Khorasan, Persia, and Iraq. He raised a large army and spent a lot of money on weapons. The soldiers were also given 1 year's salary in advance. But the project was abandoned because Muhammad bin Tughlaq realized the difficulties his army would face in a foreign land. The army was disbanded. Now let us study administration during Sultanate period. The Sultan was the head of the state. He was the supreme executive, legislative, judicial, and military authority. He was also the commander-in-chief of the army. He was assisted by a number of ministers, and the most important minister was the prime minister or the wazir. He was in charge of the entire revenue administration of the kingdom and all matters related to income and expenditure. The minister in charge of the army was called Aris-e-Mamlik. His function included appointment of soldiers, fixation of their salaries, inspection, and maintenance of discipline. Two other important departments were the Diwan-e-Risalat and the Diwan-e-Insha. The Diwan-e-Risalat looked after religious matters and the Diwan-e-Insha looked after state correspondence. The Qazi was the head of the Department of Justice and advised the Sultan on civil and religious matters. The empire was divided into provinces called Iqtas. The head of the Iqta was called Mukti. Provinces or Iqtas were divided into smaller units called Shishk or districts. The village was the lowest unit of administration. Muqaddam was the village headman. Patwari was the record keeper. The panchayats settled disputes of the village. During the Sultanate period, the empire was divided into provinces called Iqtas. The provinces were further divided into districts called Shishk or Parganas, and the lowest administrative unit was the village. During the Sultanate period, the practice of giving revenue grants from a territory was known as Iqta system, and those who were given Iqtas were known as Iqtadars. The Iqtadars had to maintain their families out of this grant and also some soldiers which were used by the Sultan during the times of war. But several of these Iqtadars became independent rulers of the territories when the Sultan became weak.